In this video, we're going to look at dividing polynomials using long division. So example 1, how can you use long division to divide p of x by d of x? And they want us to write the polynomial p of x in terms of the quotient and remainder. So part A, let p of x equal x cubed plus 5x squared plus 6x plus 9. And d of x is going to be equal to x plus 3. So what we're doing here is, again, we're using long division. So we're going to have x plus 3 on the outside, and then the inside we're going to write x cubed plus 5x squared plus 6x plus 9. Now there is one thing you want to look out for here, and we'll get into it in a little bit more detail in example B, but you want to make sure that you have all of your degrees in decreasing order and nothing's missing. So we have the third power, second power, first, and then a degree of 0. So everything is there, so we are okay to move forward. You'll see in part B what to do if something is missing. The next part of this process is you're going to follow these steps. Okay, so you're going to divide, multiply, and then subtract. And you're just going to repeat that until the process is complete. Right? And again, you'll just divide, multiply, subtract. You might do it 2, 3, 4 times. It'll depend on the length of the problem. The first thing you're going to divide is you're going to divide leading term by leading term. So we're going to take our x cubed and we're going to divide by x. All right, and I'm going to try and color code these as we go. So let's start with red here. So we're going to do x cubed divided by x. And if we were to reduce that, we would get x squared. That term is then going to go above our division bar, or a box, whatever you want to call it, above the degrees of 2. So that would be here. So you should have x squareds lined up. I would not want to put that, I wouldn't put it over here or here. I want to make sure that they are lined up. Right, it's just going to make your life easier. Now, so that was our first step, right? We divided. Now we want to multiply. You're going to multiply this top x squared term by the term on the outside, x plus 3. So x squared times x, think of it as distribution. So you're going to get x cubed, and then x squared times 3 is going to be 3x squared. Couple things you want to check for here. These two terms should always match up. That means you divided properly. And then these two terms should be of the same degree. They're both to the power of 2, so that's a good sign. So we did step 1, we divided, we did our multiplication. Now we're going to subtract. To subtract, we want to subtract the entire term, so always put that in parentheses, and that is going to be one of the most common mistakes made is during subtraction. So we're going to do x cubed minus x cubed. This should be a 0 here. I'm not going to write it there, but those will cancel out. And then we're going to do 5x squared minus 3x squared. So 5x squared minus 3x squared would give us, I'm going to change colors again, 2x squared. All right, now I'm going to bring down any remaining terms, in this case 6x and 9, and then I'm going to repeat the process. I'm going to go back to dividing, then multiplying, and then subtracting. This time I'm going to divide my leading terms again, 2x squared divided by x. All right, so it's always leading term divided by leading term. So you have 2x squared divided by that leading term x. Reduce these, we wind up with 2x. Once again, that'll go up top and it'll match up with our other linear terms. So you'll notice that 2x is right over 6x. All right, both are a degree of 1, so they'll match up. So that's our division. Now we're going to multiply. Remember, it's this 2x times both of these terms outside. So 2x times x is going to be 2x squared. Those should match up. They do. 2x times 3 is going to be 6x. And then we finish our multiplication and we're going to subtract. So we'll subtract these terms. All right, we'll go back to blue here. So 2x squared minus 2x squared, that would be 0. Again, I'm not going to write that 0 down, but just make sure that they match up. 6x minus 6x, that does turn out to be a 0, so that's a good sign. And then that 9 can be brought down, so we're going to have a plus 9 here. Now, since we've only left with a constant now, if I were to try to do the leading term divided by leading term again, so let's go purple here. If I try to do 9 divided by x, because this 0 really no longer matters, I can't do 9 divided by x. All right, nothing will be reduced, so this doesn't work. So this piece here is my remainder. Once you get a term after subtracting, once you have a term that is a lower degree than your term that you're dividing by, all right, x is a higher degree than 9. So once you have a remainder, sorry, you don't know what's the remainder yet. Once you get a term that is a lower degree than what you're dividing by, that is going to be your remainder. So to write our answer, we're now done. We're going to take this piece up top, the x squared, plus 2x, and then we need to add on our remainder. We're going to add 9, but we need to put that over the number or the term we were dividing by, that x plus 3. All right, because it's part of something. It's not a whole. The remainder, remember, is part of, so it would be 9 over x plus 3. And that would be your solution. It does seem like a kind of a tedious process at times. The nice thing about long division, again, there will be a lot of steps, but it's the same series of steps over and over. You're just going to divide, multiply, subtract, divide, multiply, subtract. Once you do a handful of these, 4, 5, 6 of them, you're going to get a pretty good understanding of how you would move forward on those. So let's take a look at example B, where p of x is equal to 8x cubed plus 27, and we are dividing by d of x, which is 2x plus 3. So the 2x plus 3 is going to go outside of our division. Now, if I'm looking at this 8x cubed plus 27, I go from a degree of 3 to a degree of x of 0. That is an issue when you're doing long division. So what we need to do is I need to fill in all the missing pieces. I need an x squared, I need an x, and then I can have that 27. The x squared in the x term, sorry about that, those are going to be zeros. All right, we need those placeholders. So writing inside would be x cubed plus 0x squared plus 0x plus 27. All right, it's absolutely critical that you have all of those placeholders. If you left out those zeros, the 0x squared and the 0x, you're going to have the wrong answer. And you'll see once you start working the problem out, it's not going to work out very nicely. Let me try and color code these the way we did before. Okay, so we're going to do leading term divided by leading term. So we have 8x cubed divided by 2x. That's going to reduce to 4x squared, and that's going to go up top. So remember, we're dividing, and then we're going to multiply. So that 4x squared is going to get multiplied by this entire term here. 4x squared times 2x is 8x cubed. These two match, which they're supposed to. And then 4x squared times 3 would be 12x squared. These degrees should match. So we're in good shape. We've now multiplied, so now what we want to do is subtract. So subtract your entire expression. 8 minus 8, that's going to cancel out. Remember, we're not going to write that 0 there. And then 0 minus 12, that's going to be negative 12x squared. So let me write that in blue. So we'd have negative 12x squared. And then we're going to drop our terms down. So we'd have plus 0x plus 27. You're going to do leading term divided by leading term. So we repeat our process. Negative 12x squared divided by 2x. So we'll have negative 6x. That's going to be written up top. Remember, line up your degrees. So we've divided. Now we're going to multiply these terms. Negative 6x times 2x is negative 12x squared. Make sure these match up, which they do. Negative 6x times 3 will be negative 18x. And now we can subtract. This is where your signs, you really have to be careful. Negative 12 minus negative 12, right, is negative 12 plus 12. That cancels out. That's supposed to happen. Now we have 0 minus negative 18, which is 0 plus 18. So this here is going to be 18x. And then we'll drop down our 27. We've now done our subtraction, so we repeat the process. 18x divided by 2x. So leading term divided by leading term. The x's are going to cancel out. 18 divided by 2 gives me 9. So that 9 will be up top. Now we're going to distribute. 9 times 2x would be 18x. 9 times 3 is 27. We've subtracted. So now, we multiplied, so now we can subtract. 18x minus 18x is 0. 27 minus 27 is 0. That tells me that there is no remainder. So my problem is complete. So my solution would be 4x squared. I'm taking it from the top up here. 4x squared minus 6x plus 9. So I know these problems can be a little intimidating at times. They can look a bit difficult. But like I mentioned, I think a couple of times already, the nice thing about these problems is it's the same process over and over once you set it up. You divide, then you multiply, and then you subtract. And you keep doing that until you either wind up with a 0 where there's no remainder, like in part B, or if we go back to part A, where we have a number or a term that is a lower degree than what we're dividing by. Practice a couple of these problems. You have these try the try it problems, and you should be in good shape. All right, again, these will just really, they're learned by practice. Once you get this process down, you should be in pretty good shape with them. Don't get discouraged, just work at it and you'll learn it.